Welcome to Airing of the Fantasy Grievances, a season full of hope, weeks of stress, countless lineup decisions that aged like milk. And now it comes to a head. Right here, right now. Which players crushed your season? Who made you cry on Sunday, Ryan? This is your moment. This is your fantasy therapy session. It's time to name the names. It's time to tell the stories. If a player broke your heart, wrecked your championship dreams, or tested your sanity, we want to hear about them all. Let's air those grievances. Start Sit Different Day is now airing of the Fantasy Grievances, and it starts now. Welcome to Club Fantasy FFL. This is our annual airing of the Fantasy Grievances episodes. And yes, we will still answer some Week 18 start-sit questions. Just do yourself a favor. Stop playing in Week 18.
We're going to stop playing in Week 17 soon. So yeah.
You're not wrong.
Josh Hudson, Ryan Weiss, I am Gator J. We'll have some friends joining us as the show goes on. But this show is all about venting. Players that crushed your season. Who made you weep? Rage quit your league just in sheer frustration? We want to hear about them all. Don't forget, hit that like, hit that subscribe over on YouTube if you're on Apple, Spotify, any other podcast platform. Hit that follow button so you never miss any of the fantasy content. There is a super chat available if you'd like to vent and get in the front of the line. Or just get your start sit for Week 18 to the front of the line. Make sure you hop over in our Discord. Josh will drop the link in the chat as well. There will be some mock drafts coming up very, very soon, and you will only be able to get into those if you're in the Discord. And as we ramp up, feel free to tell us about your 2025 frustrations. Before we bring on our first guest, let's get a few of our own. And since nobody, and I mean nobody, complains like Joe Zolo, we'll start with that. What's your biggest fantasy grievances of 2025?
Well, I was actually just looking at the ADPs to start the season, and everyone I said was going to be bad was bad. So I think that's a good start.
All right, well, bye, Joe. See you later. You can leave.
Well, I think we need to have a real conversation that we need to kick Week 17 and Week 18 out of fantasy football. I think that's a real conversation.
Can we also get rid of Week 14 where they have a bye Megetting right before the playoffs?
That's fine. Sure. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Fine.
I actually love the Week 14 bye before the playoffs. I think it's interesting when it comes to lineup building. I'm going to let you finish your point, though, Joe.
Cool. Yeah. You can stop talking now because that's a stupid point that you just made. The dumbass point you just made. Anyways, teams are shutting down players 3 weeks before the season's over. Now, fine. Like, if you're completely out of it, I get it. But when a lot of us when a top 15 draft pick gets shut down for no reason, and the number one defensive end in America, that isn't Myles Garrett, gets shut down for literally no reason, that's kind of a problem. Now, obviously, for us, they don't fucking care about us. But for thinking ahead, for the betterment of what, our lineups and competitive integrity, I had to play Elijah Higgins in Dynasty because Brock Bowers was out. Yeah. Now, at the end of the day, it didn't matter. It would have been slightly more competitive with Josh. Bijan did drop 41 on my dome, but I lost by 41, which was the amount that Bijan had. But Elijah Higgins had a fucking zilch egg. And then just in general, injuries throughout the entire season. The length of the NFL season has clearly shown that injuries are not very kind to people. Yeah. And even some of the stars during championship week didn't really show out, but they showed out heavy in Week 16. So I think that might make for an interesting conversation going into next year of, do we make it Week 16? Because it just feels a little more competitive in that sense.
So, Joe, we actually discussed this, I think, quite a bit on our Monday reaction show 2 weeks ago. So I want to get your opinion because I think Jay brought up the most interesting point about this. So in the current iteration of the NFL, right now, there's the week 14 bye. So are you cool with making that bye a part of the playoff schedule? So keep 6 teams, but now the bye week is a part of the playoffs. Or, and this was Jay's point, do we go to a new industry standard of 4 teams make the playoffs? No more bye week. Your top 4 make it. And the playoffs are just week 15 and 16, and everything's done at that point.
Here comes, fuck you. I feel it. I feel it coming. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I don't know. I think more than 4 teams should make it because I think then it gets a little interesting. I mean, in the leagues that I'm in, 1 and 2 get a bye plus their money back, and then 3 through 6. So it's like I would like to keep that in there for the leagues that I am in.
That's a great point.
But
that's because Joe ends up at the freaking bottom, so he wants to get in.
Hey, dumbass. Made all 5 leagues, had 3 first-round buys. So lick my nuts. I am net like $600. Yeah, fuck, idiot.
I told you it was coming.
Anyways, where was I? What was I fucking talking about?
My question was, do we go to 4 teams or do we allow the week 14 bye into the fantasy playoffs?
How about this? Because I was thinking about this as you were asking this question. So the bottom 2 teams that are just absolute dog ass, they're not good. What if, to make it interesting, because there is week 14 buys, we go back, and it doesn't matter if they're injured or whatever. If they still have any of their first five round draft picks on there, hear me out. Just hear me out. Listen, hear me out. Because they're the 2 shittiest teams. So they don't deserve their top 5 players. But what's going to happen is for the week 14 bye, they're not playing. The bottom 2 teams are not playing. The toilet bowl starts in week 15 and week 16. That's when the losers bracket starts.
Okay.
So imagine a 10-team league. 7 and 8, you're safe. You don't have to worry about week 14. That's basically a bye week for you. 9 and 10 have to drop their top 5 draft picks. So that way,
stop.
No, listen. Then because people are going to bitch if they have players and buys in week 14. But if you give them the opportunity or option to pick up some of the top players earlier on, then they duke it out. Imagine the fab at that point. How's your fab strategy then? Because if you blew it early on, then you have to wait. I think it's a very
You're incorporating a little bit of guillotine into it.
I was about to say, just join a fucking chopped league. Jesus.
Well, no, it's interesting, Joe.
It's very interesting because those 2 teams, week 14 doesn't matter for any of the losers bracket. It does not matter for any of them. So if we just tell them they have to do that, and then they get those players back no matter what the following week. They have to get them back. The winning teams that pick them up have to drop them, and the losers team gets them back.
I see.
Automatically.
So that way it's not influencing the playoffs.
Correct. So it is
for the 1 week.
It is just for the 1 week. They have to drop them. The teams that win or lose, doesn't matter. They have to drop them. So that way those losers team gets them back. Nobody loses their players, but the teams that won and made it to the playoffs still have the opportunity to maybe fill in some bye weeks with actual good players instead of fucking Alec Aomaner. Like
I'm okay with it ish. But here's what I'm going to tell the whole world, and I know we haven't let Josh and Jay talk about this at all, but here's what I'm going to tell the whole world is the NFL in the next 5 years is adding another game. Let's be very clear about this. All of this changes. So don't go make insane changes to your fantasy league right now based on today's NFL. In the next 5 years, the NFL is adding 1 more game. The terrifying part of that is I have heard when the NFL adds 1 more game, the NFLPA wants 1 more bye week.
As it should be, though.
Which, honestly, they should add 1 more now because there's already.
I was going to say there's already way too many freaking injuries, and the way that teams, for whatever reason, this year teams mismanaged injured players and not utilizing the IR spot. Oh my god,
that's one of my grievances.
And I figured it would be, Ryan. I'm not trying to step on your toes at all.
Oh, you're fine.
No, they need a second bye week period, but again, then it boils down to How is that going to affect fantasy? And I don't know that we're going to have the answers to that question until it actually happens.
Well, I mean, if they did it, and obviously they don't care about fantasy football, so they're going to keep this.
But here's the thing: they should look at how much the sports books that are sponsoring the league and are invested in all these things, these late injuries, all the no sweat bets and all these little things like that costs the sports books money, and then it becomes why are we sponsoring the league? Why are we doing all these things? Right?
Well, Josh, to your point there, I don't think that it's the typical fantasy that they give a shit about. They care more about DFS.
Yeah.
That's where the book's money's going. And I get what you're saying as far as the no sweat bets and all that. Look,
but again, how many fantasy players are keeping Red Zone alive, despite the fact that they keep plugging in all the fucking commercials? Like, Red Zone was literally created for fantasy football managers. I mean,
I just don't like commercials.
We're driving the fucking league, and I don't think, and they may not want to admit that, but fantasy managers are.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
When the players are sitting there in their post-game press conference or even in their pre-game press conference and talking about fantasy football, of course, a lot of them play it as well. Yeah. But yes, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point, and we all kind of suffered through it. Like, week 17 was troubling for fantasy managers in the championships for a lot of them. So I totally get it.
Yeah. If you are in the chat and you want to comment on anything that Joe said, go right ahead. As if Charlene doesn't have anything else to say here. This is not a family show. Thanks, Joe.
What the fuck you mean by that, Charlene?
Yeah. This is what you meant by that, because she did want to clarify. No, kids. He was just offering to share his big bag of nuts.
What did I say? Oh, I said lick my nuts.
I don't think I need to repeat it.
No, we don't.
I'll say it at least 3 more times the rest of the show. So
yeah, that's right. Well, let's go ahead and bring in our first guest of today, the Joel Worth.
Oh my God, we're so tiny.
It's very little.
Yeah, what's there?
What the fuck is that? I'm trying to come up with it.
Oh, I actually like that one. Okay,
there you go. That'll work.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I was trying to blow us up a little more.
I liked that first one if we did the background right. Sorry, Joel. Hey, buddy.
You're good. Yeah, little Joe on the programming back there. We should have had that ready to go to start with, Joe.
Yeah. Hold on a second. There is one fix though. Basement boys.
Yeah. Fuck out of here, Joel.
Joel, what is going on, brother? Who's your
moving on up? What's happening?
2025.
Well, as should be probably predictable for me, it's the demise of Zero RB. I don't think Zero RB is
Oh
dead.
my God. No way. Who could have thought? Oh my God. No way. You're kidding me? Wow.
Zero RB was a good strategy for several years. It is.
Yeah, until you drafted Justin Jefferson, Brian Thomas Jr., Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans. Who else is on this bitch? Marvin Harrison.
Joel's grievance job.
Right? Goddamn, Joe. Stop stealing the spotlight.
I've just been saying Zero RB's dumb, but continue, Joel. No, go ahead. I'm very excited to hear about this.
So for several years, Zero RB was a very viable and successful strategy. The last 2, it has kind of sucked, honestly, and the league has just not adjusted to the too high safety, whatever the Tampa 2, whatever you want to call it. I don't know that we've reached like neutral zone trap level NHL, but I think we have gotten to basically shift level MLB where like analytics and optimization has kind of ruined the fun for everything. They've taken explosives out of the game for the most part, and that has kind of killed the wide receiver position. And we haven't, like, I always thought the answer was, elite tight ends that could kind of run the seams and but we don't have those level players right now. So, and honestly, the last couple of years, like top running backs have not gotten hurt. And that was, part of the strategy was the replacement for running backs being easier and more effective than it was for wide receivers. And that just hasn't happened. So I don't want to say Zero RB is dead because the league is always changing. But it's basically, it's in cryo sleep right now, right? Like an alien where they go to visit these other planets where they got to put the people on the ship into cryo sleep. That's basically where it is.
Well, and that's what happens in the NFL. Like you see these ever-changing, ebbs and flows. Like running backs are going to be up, and then once defenses start to figure out, hey, you know what, we gotta put 8 in the box, 7 in the box, whatever. Now it's going to open up more room. The wide receivers are going to take over. They're going to become more dominant, and then defenses are going to have to adjust to that. And then it's always like a season or two for offenses to figure out, all right, now we need a new game plan. How can we get the running backs more involved, et cetera, et cetera. And then it's going to be right back to the running backs being more dominant. Like we're just kind of in that curvature where the running backs are up, but it's only a matter of time before the running backs come down and the wide receivers go back up.
I want to quickly throw Caesar up here because I promise you we're not the same person. This is exactly where I was going to go with this. I was going to push back a little bit, Joel, that I do think there were running backs, and he mentions 2 of the 3 I was going to mention. Just kind of looking at the top 20, Javonte Williams, RJ Harvey, DeAndre Swift, the Pittsburgh running backs. Now, no one was drafting Kenny Gainwell, let's be perfectly clear, but Jalen Warren. But the issue was the top wide receivers, as Joe pointed out, didn't necessarily pop. So if you didn't grab, Puka, JSN, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Chase, you may not have had a chance to get those guys depending on how your draft fell. So if you went into the next batch, Justin Jefferson and Brian Thomas Jr. notably, your running backs your wide receivers just killed you. So the 0 RB aspect of it didn't kill you. The elite wide receivers not necessarily popping is what kind of killed you.
I love how Joe did not mention his golden boy, Ladd McConkey, as the wide receiver that let him down, because Ladd McConkey was not great this year either.
Actually incorrect. Justin Herbert doesn't know how to look for a white guy downfield.
But did he not?
How is that any different than Justin Jefferson?
Exactly.
Passes with JJ McCarthy.
Justin Jefferson Justin Jefferson had UNH legend Max Brosmer throwing him. Okay, that's a Justin Jefferson problem, right? That's a Justin Jefferson problem. Don't you hate on Max Brosmer? Okay, 3 net passing yards in that win against the Lions. Okay, elite player.
The only point I wanted to make though is, and Joel, this is going to come out very poorly. If you optimize, and obviously you could say this any year, but if you optimized 0 RB this year, and took the right wide receiver in the first round, let's say Jamar Chase, and then Trey McBride in the second round, and 0 RB could have dominated the league this season, but you had to get every fucking pick right. And you can say that with robust RB like Joe and I, we didn't have to get every pick right because we grabbed Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd and 4th round, and that just kind of ended the league for everybody.
Well, I went McCaffrey, Chase Brown. Well, actually, with McCaffrey, Puka Nacua, then Chase Brown. So, and then if you listen to the show, because we're smart people, we told you to draft George Pickens and then throw a dart at Chris Olave late on. So my championship lineup was Chase Brown, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua, and Chris Olave with Drake May at quarterback, because don't draft a quarterback early, because we told you Drake May was going to be top 10. So I'm not saying we're stupid, guy. We're really smart on the show. And that's why I think, Caesar, you've been listening to the show forever. I don't know why you went 0 RB, my guy. You know who's normally the smart one on this show. So
sometimes it's okay to try different strategies.
No, it's not.
I've had some of my best seasons at 0.
Joe, you've loaded up on running back and it's bit you in the ass before. Don't sit here and pretend like it hasn't.
Yeah, but it's like a 70% hit rate.
The other thing that went wrong this year is all the 0 RB targets completely failed. Like Braylon Allen, Will Shipley, Facial Tootin, all those guys that
was the 0 RB targets. That's who we were targeting. I mean this genuinely. That's who we were targeting in 0 RB.
Yeah, well, you target backup running backs.
If you were loading your roster, if you were loading your roster with late stage, and I'm talking primarily here like best ball sub, where you're drafting 18 rounds and you're getting to these guys, the targets that you had, just all of them just were basically complete zeros. Yeah. And so, it's another.
Yeah,
Facial Tootin looked so good early in the year. I thought he was going to be a savior.
He was the better player. He was the better player than Travis Etienne objectively, but they didn't give him the role, and eventually he got hurt. Where we expected Travis Etienne to maybe not make it through the year, and it didn't work. And then the other guys like Shipley was just a wash. They traded for Tank Bigsby, so that didn't happen. And then Braylon Allen got hurt in week 1, week 2, and just never came back. So.
Rough sledding, man.
I think Rico Dowdle might have been the only 0 RB target that popped. So, and that took 6 weeks?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yep. You got another one there, Joe? Oh, Joel?
Yeah, so like real life tangential to fantasy, division winners getting playoff spots is subjectively stupid. Like, why is Carolina going to be in the playoffs this year?
Listen here, damn it. Stop talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are not going to win the division. They're not going to get in. You're not.
I'm not. I'm talking about the Carolina Panthers and the Baltimore Ravens.
What do you mean? The Panthers are going to make it to the Super Bowl and lose. That's what the whole trajectory is.
It's bad enough that these teams get a home game. Like if you're so bad that you can't get into the playoffs by beating up on your bad division in over a third of your games and you still can't qualify, you don't deserve it. And you guys talked about who the league is beholden to. The league is beholden to the networks. You don't think the networks would rather have Detroit in the playoffs than Carolina against anyone? It's absurd. There's no reason that. And I was thinking about this because this is like year 3 in a row that the Packers are going to be the 7th seed, and it's like somebody's, well, you didn't deserve to make the playoffs under the old system. That's not the point. They've been better than these like late automatic qualifiers. It's just giving an automatic seat. And divisions are they're completely anachronistic. I mean, there's no reason for them. They don't even make sense regionally. Like, why is Dallas in the NFC or the NFC North or the NFC East, whatever they are?
Get rid of 4 divisions and go to 2 divisions per conference, and it solves.
Not even that. Do what the NBA does. Just make it a conference. That's it.
Just get rid of divisions.
Let's use the NBA as the golden child here. Okay, let's move.
But what it does ultimately is it takes away the one-off seasons where one division is so bad that realistically they don't belong in the playoffs. Like,
but my problem is more than half the NBA makes the playoffs, and that bothers me so much.
The 8 seeds are below 500. This isn't solving anything.
Well, Joe,
that's my point. That's my point. You're letting a below 500 team in automatically because they win a weak division. And this has happened like every year.
Well, for using Detroit as an example, they are a 500 team.
No, I was talking about Carolina or Tampa.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, Carolina's a 500 team. If we're shitting on Carolina and the example is we should have Detroit in over Carolina, incorrect. That is just simply incorrect.
No. Well, I see what you're saying because
Detroit is an objectively better team than Carolina.
Detroit is a better team than Carolina, though.
Guys,
are they though?
Let's backtrack a little bit.
Detroit is a top 10 team in DVOA. Carolina's in the 20s.
The Patriots are fucking 16th in DVOA. DVOA doesn't fucking matter.
So when they get bounced in the first round, Joel looks really smart.
What DVOA means shit. What are the Eagles in DVOA? They look like dog ass. And I guarantee you they're top 5 in DVOA. They look like
ass.
They're good.
But hold on,
they're good.
If we want to use our eyes,
relative
Eagles
to the
should
league,
be fucking out. If
we want to use our eyes, Detroit is a better team. Because the fact of the matter is this. Detroit played a division that's putting 2 teams into the playoffs. Carolina played a division that shouldn't have any teams in the playoffs.
That's exactly my point.
Okay, maybe don't turn the ball together. Then don't turn the ball over 6 fucking times against the Vikings when you need a win.
I'm not defending Detroit. I'm defending Joel. So.
Well, good note to let's move over to the chat real quick while we got Joel on here for just a few minutes. Caesar, good morning. Up 64 points in a 2-week ESPN final. T-Law or Dart also flex 2, right? Brigsby, Estime, Brian Thomas Jr., Ladd. You get points for rushing attempts, and then he also added Jaden Blue to the flex list.
Well, let's start with it has to be T-Law. Dart has nobody to throw to in this game. And Austin and I really talked about this on our DFS show. 1/2 of T-Law could outperform Jackson Dart for an entire game. Stick with the very good player, even if there's a chance they decide to sit him at halftime or the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm staying with T-Law here. I mean, he's the QB1 over the last month?
Yeah. Over the last 7 weeks.
There you go.
Got a nice matchup with Tennessee as well.
Yeah.
Joel, who you flexing here?
If rushing attempts count, I'm going to do Bigsby and Jalen Wright. Like, you can't start Ladd with Trey Lance at quarterback. That's absurd.
The dog,
BTJ is
legend.
BTJ is just so boomer bust. I'm not trusting him in a final. And then, estimates a complete 0, even though he'll probably get some volume with Olave out because they've got nothing left. But I think it's pretty clearly Jalen Wright and Bigsby.
I'm a little more nervous about Wright, but we did see that like 25 carry game from Wright earlier this season. I just don't love the matchup there.
New England's missing Barmore this week. That's a big deal.
I do.
Okay.
I watch the Patriots. I do.
Well, because like Jaden Blue, I think is also interesting. Great matchup for Jaden Blue, and this is literally his feature week. They are Javonte Williams and other running back Malik Davis are out for this game. Jaden Blue is the only back, so I think you do have 20 carries on the table for Bigsby, Blue, and Wright. My initial gut call here was to go Blue and Bigsby, but I think I'm being talked into.
I would go Blue over Wright, yeah, if that's in play.
No Robert Spillane, no Christian Barmore. I forget if Milton Williams is back. Yeah.
No.
Wright and Blue.
Knucklebusters' biggest grievance: my bonehead moves setting my lineups.
Just
Best ball.
No. You come here and listen to us, and we help lead you to a championship. That's what we do next year.
Joe, I was just going to say the couple times that I did see Knucklebuster on Saturday morning, you decided to take those Saturdays off.
There you go.
It's almost weird, Gator. It's crazy you bring that up. It's almost like I'm normally the one that tells you the right decision. It's weird.
I know. That's kind of what I was thinking here.
Weird.
He said he drafted Brian Thomas Jr. over JSN. That's why.
Oh my God. Hey, I wonder who told you that.
Yeah, that was probably me. Not even gonna lie. Yeah,
Knuckle.
Me.
I'm the right one on the show.
That's Joe Ortiz.
I want you to remember that.
Is it? Okay, perfect. Joe.
He knows.
I want you to remember that.
Who do we file a grievance with to get this fixed? Is this a StreamYard problem or a YouTube problem?
How about that's my number one grievance? The fucking app button on StreamYard.
God,
Piece of shit.
I'll send a complaint.
Ladd had an Allen return to deal with.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and we said that the moment that Keenan Allen came back, like this was not good.
I don't know though, because
decimated offensive line.
I would say I felt like we tried to justify it, and so that was actually one of my grievances. So the part of it that pisses me off is that Keenan Allen had 3 more targets and 8 more catches than Ladd McConkey. That's just a grievance of mine with how that offense was running. Was it mildly predictable? Yes, but just a wild outcome for the season. As a huge Keenan Allen fan, I was very bothered by the amount that he was used more than Ladd McConkey.
So I'm gonna add to this because I think the epitome of what this is when Joe Flacco came into the Cincinnati Bengals. He threw the ball to Jamar Chase 500 times in a game. You want to know why? Because on every route Jamar Chase runs, he's open. It doesn't matter. He's open. If you go back and watch the All-22 against the Texans, Ladd McConkey is open on 90% of his routes. That throw that Herbert missed him in the end zone for the easiest 7 points I've ever seen in my life. He was open off the cut. Herbert just wasn't looking at him. Why are you not looking at your number one guy? Every quarterback, I don't care if they are double teamed off the line. Look at them to start. Just look at them. Like it blows my mind that teams do not.
He found Quinton Johnston.
What?
He found Quinton Johnston.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, does that not tell you that maybe
that's his number one guy?
You think he is?
I think the biggest issue here is Greg Roman.
Quinton Johnston in this conversation. Seriously,
hang on. Quinton. Well, first off, they play 2 completely different roles. QJ is more of their X.
Correct.
Ladd's their Y.
Yes.
Greg Roman. If you really look at the history of Greg Roman's offenses, he's never had a true definitive wide receiver 1.
No, he hasn't.
So
but maybe look at the guy that's the best route runner in your team because he's open every time.
Well, and that's fair. But if you're not crafting your offense to where your Y is your first read, Ladd's not going to be the guy, regardless of whether he's open. A quarterback has to get through their progressions that much faster.
Well, I was going to say, all offense to Ladd McConkey, you called him the best route runner on the team. Keenan Allen's one of the best route runners ever. Justin Herbert had chemistry there. Ladd McConkey was the second best route runner and the second best deep threat. And that's, I think, what hurt him this season. So
great. Well, Keenan can go retire and then everything's back to normal.
And then everything goes back to fine.
Literally, everything goes back to normal. I can't wait for Ladd McConkey to fall to like wide receiver 20. Snatch you right up. Thank you.
Yeah.
As long as Keenan goes to pasture, that's what we need.
Let me go back to the chat real quick because I missed one because Woods Girl got in here at 4 fucking a.m.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes. Thank you all for the fun advice this year. I'm up 90 or so in week 18 final. Yeah, I know. Yep. Stop playing the week 18 final. Came in third in my other league. Would have won the whole thing but for Ryan's guy in week 16.
He sold us.
Yeah.
I did find some interesting numbers. I'll jump into this one now because this was another of my things. I know we're not the biggest fans of Kyler Murray, and I'm guilty of it as well. But I truly question the offensive pivot from Jacoby Brissett to Kyler Murray. Jacoby Brissett threw 45 passes a game this season. Kyler Murray only threw 32. When you look at their just numbers, Kyler Murray could have been a infinitely better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett was this season. Jacoby Brissett got by on volume. Obviously, passing touchdowns, at least early on, were an issue for Kyler, but we don't know if he could have turned a page later on. And obviously, all of us Trey McBride people are happy Jacoby Brissett came in. But the volume, the way they ran this offense, I'm going to say the unpopular opinion, I don't think Kyler Murray got a fair shake at being a good fantasy quarterback this season.
Well, and so much of the volume was simply because the Cardinals couldn't run the football. Like after Connor goes down, literally the next game, Trey Benson goes down. Benson played,
and then that happens to coincide with Murray going down as well.
Exactly. So like they had no choice but to throw the football because they could not generate a running game.
Can we just stop with the Jacoby Brissett as a starter bullshit? I mean, he won
he's
one
not
start
a starter
against Dallas. He won one start. There is no way he's a starter in the league.
He's a fantasy asset.
He is Jameis Winston all over again. I mean, that's
yes.
He helps your fantasy teams. He's a terrible real life quarterback.
And I love Jameis Winston in fantasy football.
I was just going to say
that is a terrible real life quarterback. He's not going to be a starter.
Joel. I have not made that connection to this one. I promise you. I woke up this morning because Joe, one of our discussions had been stuck in my head about the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And like, because I was thinking about Tua Tagovailoa, which is just weird that what I woke up thinking about this morning.
And you thought starting quarterback, and you said, "Oh, Tua." That was the first thing that came
my question is he one of the best 32? And to Joel's point, I did not put Jacoby Brissett in that best 32. Now, interestingly, I did put Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston could do something in this league. So.
Well, it's you brought it up. So Randall says Cardinals are going to trade for Tua and a first rounder for Kyler Murray this offseason. Jacoby Brissett ends up with the Raiders. Now, in our text thread, I put in the other day.
You did.
Does Jacoby Brissett to Miami make it interesting? And I was thinking more or less for fantasy, of course. And Josh immediately says, "Fuck no."
He can't run that offense. That's
what it boils down to. Like Jacoby Brissett, he's been an okay fill-in starter. He's not afraid to throw the football.
He's a bridge guy.
He's a bridge guy, 100%. So like I can see a scenario where some team looks at what Brissett did this year, and they'll bring him in and say, you know what, either be a bridge, compete, for our existing starter or something like that. But let's be real here. This is the only offensive scheme that he's had legitimate sustained success in from a production standpoint.
Well, Josh,
I'm not even talking wins and losses.
You're also describing to a T a guy whose career I followed closely, Gardner Minshew. He's just going to end up bouncing around and competing with every first-round pick. And
that's exactly what Brissett and I mentioned this because I think it was Hoove in our Discord was talking about Brissett getting opportunities, and I was like, look at Nick Foles. Look at Gardner Minshew. These are guys that popped, got starter opportunities, and bombed. That's what Jacoby Brissett is. Plain and simple.
He's also going to get in line behind Malik Willis.
Yeah, 100%. And so you'll be happy to know I was like, Malik Willis is one of the 32 that deserves a job. So
can't wait for that to flame out.
To me, the biggest difference between someone like Jacoby Brissett and Malik Willis came into this league raw. We knew that he was going to take time to develop. And
Jacoby Brissett came in as an unknown.
Jacoby Brissett was a third-round pick. They were both third-round picks.
Interesting. Didn't realize that.
They were both third-round picks.
Brissett is fully formed. He has no upside at this point.
It was literally Joe Tooney and Jacoby Brissett third round.
Brissett's upside is that arm is never falling off.
Yeah.
Until it does.
Ryan, that's what I want to say about Kyler Murray. Just real quick before you answer this.
Yep.
Kyler can't throw 45 fucking times. Doesn't have the arm.
Very fair.
He's dead. He would die if he threw the ball 45 times a game.
Wasn't he
That's
a
the
pitcher?
thing. It needs to be 32 and he needs to run fucking 11 times a game.
No,
He
Kyler
did run
was
a
a
lot.
center
He
fielder.
did run a lot more than Brissett in his 5 games. Actually, they ran the same amount this season, and one of them played 5 games.
Yeah, he just needs to run more. Go ahead.
Kyler was a center fielder, by the way, Ryan.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought he was a pitcher.
Yeah.
That was Russ a
Pastor
pitcher?
comes in over on Twitch. Hey, guys, second game of the championship, down by 5. Full PPR, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex is what he needs. Gibbs, Chase Brown, Travion, Bucky, Mason, Jaden Blue, Pickens, Diggs, Tet McMillan, Brian Thomas Jr., and Parker Washington are his choices. And before Josh says it, Parker Washington can be included in your start sits this week.
Clearly. Back-to-back 100-yard games. I'm a fucking idiot. What the hell do I know?
Not to play him?
Last week, yeah.
Why do we employ him?
Hey, to be fair, he also was touting the Giants' defense last week, which was a great call. So.
Also, he's very much like me when my
betting 500. I'll take it.
Well, a blind squirrel could tell you the Giants' defense is going to play well against the Raiders.
Hey, who whooped your ass in Dynasty? I don't want to fucking hear it.
Yeah,
right?
I literally listed you the fucking reasons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bijan, calm down.
Good boy.
This is Bucky because he has something to play for in Jaden Blue. Diggs because he has an incentive to hit. This is what I'm thinking.
So does Chase Brown.
Okay, fine. Chase Brown and Jaden Blue. Fuck Bucky Irving.
No, I'm saying Bucky should be in there. I would say Chase Brown over Jaden Blue.
I mean, you do need a flex anyway, so.
Okay, fine.
You
Then
can
we'll
start
flex
with 3
Chase
running
Brown.
backs.
Tedero McMillan is playing for a playoff
Has
spot
something to play
against
for.
a terrible defense.
Yeah, Tet and Diggs, and then the 3 running backs. Why not?
I can't believe we're sitting Gibbs.
I was going to say, you're going to start Jaden Blue, who couldn't get in the lineup all year and is only playing because the 2 guys are ahead of him are hurt, over Jahmyr Gibbs, who's going to play the entire game.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Yeah. I'm still going Gibbs, Chase Brown,
Bucky.
I think I'm sticking with Pickens and Diggs, truthfully.
Jaden Blue.
Although with all of the off-field shit with Diggs, I don't know.
That's not going to come to fruition until next year, or till the end.
Why would she continue showing up for work if he owed her money?
Hold on a second. Wait, what's happening?
The whole Diggs situation.
Oh, yeah. The Pickens, Joe Ortiz says Pickens has an incentive. I haven't seen him on any of my lists.
A new contract for next year.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
I feel like he already he kind of already has that. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. If Dallas is playing their starters, you're not benching George Pickens, plain and simple. And it appears Dallas is playing their starters. So I think it has to be George Pickens. I agree with Joe. It has to be Stephon Diggs. I hate leaving Tedero McMillan, but then again, the Panthers had 13 passing yards in the first half last week. And then I agree with the running backs we talked about. So
I'm starting Ted over Pitt. Like they've said that they're putting Joe Milton in at some point. I don't think their starters are playing more than a series or 2.
There you go.
I'm for sure starting Ted over Pickens.
Yeah, I don't think Dak's playing at all. It's going to be straight up.
I think they said he'll probably start, but it's maybe just a series or 2. So yeah,
okay, that's good.
Dallas's offense is a very tough start.
Right, let's get one more before we get you out of here, Joe. Joel, start 2: Baker, Brissett, or Caleb.
The 2 that have something to play for.
Do the Bears have anything to play for?
The 2 seed.
The 2 seed, yeah.
Okay.
2 seed, and they get to play Green Bay in round 1. So yeah.
Okay.
So it's what, Baker and Caleb?
Baker and Caleb for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The great spot for both.
The 2 better players, honestly.
Yeah, that's true too.
Baker's been horrible, but yeah.
Well, hey, speaking of Baker,
Yeah,
he has Mike Evans. He only needs 666 yards to hit that 1,000.
The devil works in mysterious ways. 666.
There you go.
So
He'll be the first player to thank Satan at the end of his game.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
guys, in the nicest way possible.
That was too far.
in the nice way possible. Bijan, I get it. You know, you're a religious guy. Where was God the other 17 weeks for the Falcons? I'm just being honest with you. Where was he? Where was he? Because he was nowhere to be found. So, anyways, continue.
I don't know if I want to now.
Yeah. This is right.
I texted them immediately after.
Terribly
Bijan
off the
first
rails.
30 seconds about this. I'm like, Bijan, you guys are 7-9 and knocked out of a playoff spot. I don't think the Lord was looking over you guys this season. I'm sorry.
We got to stop.
I think he skipped over zone 6. He was just like, no. Fuck that.
All right, Joel, let's get you out of here on a great note like that. Good Lord. Tell the good people where they can find you. What's going on?
At the Joel Worth on the Twitter. You can find me tomorrow morning doing the DFS show with my buddy Jameson Hutchinson over on his YouTube channel. So that should be fun. Week 18 DFS is always it's a crapshoot, but it's fun. So,
Jaden Blue.
I'll have some Jaden Blue by lineups. It's not going to be he's not going to be
over Jahmyr Gibbs.
Over Jahmyr Gibbs.
Not over Jahmyr Gibbs. No.
Great.
To be fair, DFS evens that playing field a little bit because Jaden Blue costs this much.
I'm dropping Jaden Blue this much in the first round next year. You guys watch.
Running Jaden Blue with Joe Milton as your quarterback. That's all.
Yeah. Joe, have a good week 18. Enjoy the DFS game. We will see you on the other side.
Peace, guys. We'll talk in the playoffs. Be good.
Yep.
Let it go.
All right, let's get this next guy in here. One of the friends of Club Fantasy, Mr. Iowa Mike himself. How are we doing, sir? Happy New Year.
What's up, everybody? Happy New Year.
Mike?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has.
Didn't you have a
been about 120 pounds ago, too.
So I was going to say, I'm like, should I say this publicly or in the chat? You look fantastic, my friend.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, you don't got to start a New Year's resolution when you're already there. You know?
There you go.
Like, I got ahead of the game, I think. That's what I was trying to do.
How much weight did we lose in the beard?
120 pounds.
We turned that down, too.
Right there.
When you're 340, you got like 3 chins. And I wanted to see how many were left under there.
Okay.
Turns out just 1. We're good.
Good,
awesome, buddy.
Good.
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
What was your biggest fantasy grievance of 2025, Mike?
Definitely the quarterbacks. I'm a big super flex guy. You know, I come from the dynasty streets. You know, I'm not like the redrafters who like their 1 QB 10-team leagues that make me want to off myself and play with kickers and defenses. You know, like we do it authentic over here at South Harmon. So you know, super flex, baby, and a lot of best ball. But the quarterbacks, they sucked all year. Like they just did. It's the worst quarterback year I can remember in my fantasy history. It was awful. We had some good games out of, Josh Allen, but as a whole, Jaden Daniels being injured, Lamar Jackson with 1 leg for an entirety of the season. Jalen Hurts doesn't have an offensive coordinator worth shit. It was horrendous. Like the big dogs didn't come out. I guess you got Brock Purdy in the playoffs, so everybody's happy about that. Yay. Not for me.
He's the QB2 in points per game in fantasy football. Like that
Disgusting.
is just.
Well, thank God you had him those 8 weeks he was injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
never I appreciated Mac Jones. I appreciated Mac Jones when he filled in. Thank you for giving me QB1 weeks versus the Rams.
I'm gonna go top 16 quarterbacks here in ADP to start the season, and I say 16 because there's a reason. Josh Allen, hit or miss, either 60 points or 6. There's Lamar Jackson injured, Jaden Daniels injured, Jalen Hurts 2 games with 0 passing yards in the second half. Booty. Joe Burrow injured. Patrick Mahomes dog shit, but we've been telling you that. Baker Mayfield hot first half, dog shit second half. Bo Nix, what is he? What is Bo Nix? Kyler Murray dog shit. Brock Purdy injured. Dak Prescott, nah. Jared Goff, nah. Justin Fields injured. Justin Herbert fine for like 10 weeks, and then he was Justin Herbert.
Cliff.
Yeah, then he was Justin Herbert. Caleb Williams, shaky to start, hot towards the end, and then the people's champion, Drake May. So that's why I said 16.
I was going to say, wasn't it so obvious why he was going to 16 to start with?
Yeah. Well, also, but let's go down further. You could have waited and drafted Trevor Lawrence at Matt 20. Stafford. You could have waited and drafted Matt Stafford at 23.
You could have picked up Jacoby Brissett off waivers.
and
in
then
like week 6.
Week 16.
Yeah, well,
how about even
we're going to avoid that part.
Before he got injured, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Daniel Jones. Oh boy. Yeah.
He was carrying fantasy teams for
That's
the
what I'm
first
saying.
6 weeks of the season.
It's so bad that Sam Darnold was in the MVP discussion by like week 6. Okay.
And Sam Darnold was QB 27 before the season.
And Sam Darnold.
And you know what? In points per game, Sam Darnold is QB 25. So we weren't wrong about Sam Darnold.
No, he just had a hot start. That's 100. Yeah. I'm not here to defend Mr. Ghost. I'm just telling you that's what he is.
Hoove and I were having this conversation in the Discord, and Sam's he's got 2 big bonuses for today. I believe it's 150 yards passing. He gets like $400,000 or $500,000. He gets 3 touchdowns. He also gets another $500,000. Now, mind you, the odds from 2 touchdowns to 3 touchdowns for Sam Darnold is fucking stupid astronomical. Well, I went back and looked. He has 3 games where he's got 3 touchdowns or more. He's got another 5 where he's got 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But he also has 2 games where he has 3 or more picks.
Menace. Okay. First off, the ghosts get to you, right? He's a spiritual guy.
I thought that was only on the East Coast that the ghosts were. I guess they have them in Seattle now too.
No, that guy's just.
And in Minnesota, let's not forget with everything on the line last year.
I was going to say, Sam Darnold has a real chance to blow the number 1 seed 2 years in a row.
Sam Darnold was Jacoby Brissett before Jacoby Brissett.
He was Jacoby Brissett before Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, my biggest problem with it is how I like to play, and anybody who knows me, I'm a quarterback guy. Like, I will hoard the shit out of them. I will cause X drama. I will have people lose their fucking minds about me quarterback hoarding in a draft. It's fantastic. It's a long history of me being an asshole in drafts and just hoarding all the quarterbacks. I picked the absolute fucking worst year to do it with because people looked at me like I was a poverty franchise, like I was the Vegas Raiders. Like, we'd like to make a trade with you, but you literally have nothing on your fucking roster that's worth the shit.
I'm going to go 8 quarterbacks.
I'm going to go pick up
offers left and right.
I'm going to go pick up Brady Cook off of waivers for free. And he's probably just as good as a guy I'd have to trade you a first-round pick for. Go fuck yourself.
I stand by the statement. Brady Cook was the best thrower of the football for the Jets this season. I stand by that statement.
Ooh, yay. I don't know. I saw Breece Hall throw a pass. It looked pretty good one.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't the punter throw a pass at one point?
I feel like this is a good time to jump in with one of my things was the weird use of the IR this season because the 2 names I wanted to bring up have been brought up on the show. Brock Purdy played 8 games. Bucky Irving played 9 games. Neither one of them were on the IR at any point this season. The headache that created for fantasy managers, I understand you can only bring so many people back from IR, but to just not do it with guys who missed half the season, and there are others I'm forgetting, but those 2 specifically, probably because I have them in so many leagues. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Wait,
I need to stash these guys on an IR so I have a roster spot.
You're telling me that Kyle Shanahan fucked over fantasy managers with an injury report?
That's 2 seasons in a row.
No, really? That douchebag? He did it again? Wow.
No way he did it to Brandon Ayuk too, right? Like, no way.
What the fuck happened there? At least Ayuk was on the pup list.
Can I take my victory lap on Brandon Ayuk like I did on Tua last week?
You don't talk about the Commanders' number 1 wide receiver in 2026. All right, Joe?
Wow. All right. Where's he going? Wide receiver 50? Because that's too low still, or too high.
I did say it was going to be a good wide receiver one.
Along these same lines, though, the weird way, and this is not anybody in this room, the weird way fantasy managers propped up Joe Mixon early in the season. Thankfully, Club Fantasy was like, no. But there were a lot of fantasy analysts who were not like that. And the Texans weren't exactly forthcoming. Thankfully, because of Christian McCaffrey, we read the writing on the wall. And early on, we said, Joe Mixon is not playing a game this season. Do not get him. So many people wasted like an 8th, 9th, 10th round pick on Joe Mixon and stashed him. And then you had to cut him when the rest of your fucking team had to go to IR for the whole season, except Brock Purdy and Bucky Irving.
I'd love to see how many IR spots Joe Mixon is still in.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Can I
check his rostership?
I can look at ESPN rostership still.
That is actually fantastic. That's another good grievance that I have. Not the Joe Mixon thing, right? Because that was for all the right reasons. People were reading the tea leaves. They were looking at the injury reports. They were listening to the beat reporters who were talking about this situation's going to be a clusterfuck. Good luck. Like, there's actually legitimate concern he doesn't play at all this year. And I know Joe Mixon went after one of the reporters on Twitter, like, hey, you don't know me.
Like 3 weeks ago, mind you. Like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I'm like, bro, if you haven't come off yet, you ain't coming off. Like, what are we doing?
One of my biggest grievances, especially early on in the season, was the Quinshon Judkins thing. Because people see those Twitter reports, right? And listen, it is a very sensitive area to talk about. But people jump to conclusions way too quickly, and they think they know everything. And we have to let the legal process play out on all this stuff. And people are like, don't draft Quinshon, whatever the hell you do. You know, he's never playing for the Browns. He's never going to sign a contract. Listen, when it comes to injuries, I'm more than willing to get ahead of it, right? Because there's a lot more people who can look at medical data, who can look at previous injury history and go, I don't think this guy's going to play this year. When it comes to situations like domestic violence, we have no fucking idea because a lot of these cases are just one person's word versus another person's word. We got police reports to play out. Yep. So when people go and we've done it so many times here in the last few years. Tyreek Hill situation a few years ago. Now you got Quinshon Judkins. At one point, we thought Xavier Worthy was fucked and never going to play again. And it turns out it was actually the opposite. Xavier Worthy's the one out here getting extorted with somebody crazy showing up to his house. So probably one of my biggest grievances, at least off the field as far as fantasy goes, is stop jumping to conclusions so quickly. Let it play out. You know, draft him where you're comfortable at. If you're wrong and this guy turns out to be a giant piece of shit and deserves to, spend the rest of his life in prison, so be it. But don't go out on a limb and go, wow, I'm going to tell everybody, white knight this thing, and I'm going to tell everybody, hey, you shouldn't draft Quinshon ever again. When it turns out, okay, they couldn't really do anything about it. It actually wasn't really that big of a deal.
Until a fantasy analyst calls a local police department to get the inside scoop on some of these things, don't jump to conclusions.
Oh, knocked that one out of the park, Ryan. Oh, poor DeAndre Swift.
I'll say his name if you want.
We're good. I am jumping off at noon. There is one that I found that was super interesting that I wanted to throw out there for everybody. My biggest grievance, and I love this player, was Davante Adams killing what could have been the greatest Kyren Williams season ever. 9 of Davante Adams' touchdowns, 9 were thrown inside the 5-yard line this season. Running back area. No other wide receiver in the entire league had more than 4. Shout out Romeo Dobbs with his 4.
Do you want me to add to that? 17 of Stafford's passing touchdowns came within 5 yards.
Thank you, Joe. I didn't even look. I focused strictly on Adams.
Oh, so I've been looking at the MVP race and people are kind of fucking comparing these two. So
Kyren Williams, Mr. fucking touchdown, and don't you ever forget it, still scored 13 touchdowns this season. 9 were stolen by a wide receiver, folks. If you give him 5 of those, we're talking about Kyren Williams as one of the best RB values. As a Kyren Williams adorer, admirer, I love what Adams did, and I had him on so many teams. I shouldn't even be hating. But to see what could have been for Kyren Williams was just heartbreaking for me.
I was going to say, one of my offseason takes with Davante Adams was this is a team that will have 2 top 8 wide receivers, the Rams being Puka and Davante Adams.
You just didn't know one of them was a tight end.
Right? Shit. And that's exactly how they used him. I mean, he's so good as a route runner in short area. Like, it makes sense to use him inside the 5 like that. And man, Sean McVay just absolutely unlocked that passing game.
And then my last grievance, and Mike, I'd love to get your take on this one because you talked about the post-bye fall off of Jonathan Taylor. And I think this was more of a quarterback problem for the Colts than anything else. But for Jonathan Taylor, my favorite thing that I discovered while looking this up, Jonathan Taylor scored 3 touchdowns the game before his bye. Jonathan Taylor scored 3 touchdowns the remaining games after his bye combined.
Taylor was on his way to a generational season and just
This is one of my favorite things too, because you saw it decline even when Daniel Jones was playing, as Daniel Jones played, declined with his, broken leg. Like he was on his way to a soft benching. I think that was the term of 2025. That's the one.
Wasn't that fun?
Everybody's getting soft benched around here. Apparently,
it's called quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting. But Daniel Jones started shitting the bed and started playing very, very poorly right up into the point that he snapped his Achilles. And then, okay, I guess it's not a soft benching anymore. Where you actually got to go to the bench. And then, of all organizations in the entire world, the same fucking one that hired Jeff Saturday off the fucking street to head coach this fucking team is like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go out. We're going to see if 18-kid 55-year-old Phillip Rivers got anything left, because the last time he played for us, it looked so good when he couldn't throw the ball past 5 yards. Jonathan Taylor, this is exactly what you're going to need. There's no way every defense is going to focus entirely on you for the rest of the season.
Never hit 100 yards after that bye either.
You feel so bad for the fucking guy too. That first Phillip Rivers game, it was like every time he got the rock, he just getting hit in the backfield by 3 fucking guys, and he's got to struggle for 4 yards.
Those high school kids out of Alabama would have never gone to an Indianapolis Colts game except for Phillip Rivers. So there is that.
Indianapolis Colts fans don't want to go to Indianapolis Colts games.
I was sharing the story yesterday, and I wonder if there is anything to the health insurance benefits when you have that many kids.
Chestnut checkers, baby.
Can we add the grievance that college football can't develop a fucking quarterback?
That should have been the whole show, to be perfectly honest.
That a 44-year-old who hasn't played NFL football in 5 years can come off the street. And we all agree, Phillip Rivers was probably a top 10 quarterback when he was playing. Not top half of that, but he was definitely 6 through 10 for most part of it. In some years, he was definitely creeping up into the top 5. Yeah. He was a fantastic quarterback. Not a Hall of Famer, Hall of Great. He was a great quarterback. Yeah. The fact he can come in 5 years later, because what he can do, what can he do? Read a fucking defense. He can do pre-snap recognition. He can do all these things. He can do that. But we can't get a kid that comes out of college. A kid that's been in the league 5 years can't even fucking do that. So that's where I think I said it. I don't know if I said this to you guys on No Punt. I'm changing my tone on Tyler Shugg because he spent 6 fucking years in college.
The older rookies might be the better.
That's what I'm saying. He spent 6 years in college that he's able to actually learn. And the injuries might have benefited him because he has to actually do more learning than playing. So,
I'm going to let Mike jump in here because Mike is the college guy of these 5.
Mark Gronowski, dog.
Yeah. Well, hang on one second before you do, Mike, because I have a quick question on this. Is it more of college not developing, or is it more of the NFL scouts not knowing what the fuck they're looking at?
I blame more of the NFL side because I'm an Iowa Hawkeye fan. We haven't developed a quarterback since 1985. Before I was fucking born, man. Chuck Long, shout out to the GOAT. That's it. That's the last one we fucking had, man. Nate Stanley, woo, that was fun. Spencer Petras, right? Don't forget the Cade McNamara eras. Those were our golden years. Those were our golden years where it didn't matter what the under was on the Iowa game. You bet it and you won every fucking time. They could have set that at 12 and you would have hit.
You would have won because the score would have been 3-6.
Exactly. We scored more points on fucking defense than we could on offense. So it's not necessarily a college problem. I think it's a fucking NFL problem. It's the scouts not knowing what the hell they're looking at. It's coaching staffs not being in position, or organizations not being in position to develop their quarterbacks that they draft. Like, how many of these teams go out and draft a quarterback in the top 10, top 5, and then simultaneously hire a defensive coach like Matt Eberflus and go, here you go. Good luck.
Well, and then that goes to my
quarterback supposed to do.
It also goes to my favorite thing to bitch about is we cut the leash too fucking quickly.
Every time.
Let these kids play out their entire first contract, all 68 games. Don't fuck around and kill these kids before they ever get a chance to learn. And we've watched it continually happen. Obviously, this show has not been pro Sam Darnold, but we've seen him at least grow as a player. We've seen Baker Mayfield grow as a player. Let these folks do this before you're like, we're fucking done. The Cleveland Browns fumbling Baker Mayfield will forever be a blight on that organization.
Can we all agree that if Cleveland kept him, it wouldn't have mattered because it's Cleveland?
It would have been better because Cleveland would have been in a better position than they are in right now, without a doubt.
They do this up and down the board though, and we see these teams that just have no plan in place for how to develop a quarterback. Now, Fizz and I just talked about it on last night's show. Listen, when a guy like Kellen Moore, who we've seen run a very successful offense through multiple different stops, goes out and hand picks, albeit in the second round, a guy like Tyler Shuck, which we looked at and went, ugh, who the fuck is this guy? Like, this guy's 47-year-old fucking rookie? No. If he goes out and he hand picks him, he obviously sees something and he has a plan in place. So those are the ones that we should pay a little bit more attention to. Those offensive-minded coaches who go out and plant their flag on a guy because they obviously have a plan in place. It's these teams that just throw shit against the wall and hope to God that they're right and just throw them out to the wolves. And then after 7-8 games go, we got to bench this guy. He's not that good. Exactly. And then you just completely ruin the kid's confidence.
Yep.
And he's never going to be shit for you. I mean, Kyler Murray's been in the league for fucking ever, still hasn't developed. Like, they still don't have a plan in place on how to take Kyler's athleticism and what he does well and actually put it into practice on the field.
I have nothing to add. I'm just going to jump out while you guys fight. Thank you all for tuning in this season.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yep. Talk to you guys later.
Monday.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson.
Well, and that's why I brought up the scouting, because again, you were looking at, you know, the old man himself, and you had Riley Leonard. Well, of course, you know, on 4 days rest, they throw in Phillip Rivers and said he could do a better job. When you at the same time, I mean, now Richardson was hurt at that point, but they've done this in back-to-back, or, you know, 2 out of 3 years now, where they've gotten this quarterback and spent over, you know, especially with Richardson, even coming out of Florida. I mean, he was only there for 1 fucking year. He played like 14 games in college, and then is automatically in the number 1 overall pick. What are we doing? It's not you. The kids in college don't have a chance with the transfer portal being able to just jump from college to college. Yeah, they get to learn different offenses, but then you get to the NFL and they do the exact same thing where they're jumping, you know, whether it's a head coach, offensive coordinator, whatever like that. They don't have a chance to develop at all.
I think back to, especially when we're sitting here in this NIL era with a lot of these guys, it's going to be more interesting, these guys who end up playing 4, 5, 6 years at college and through multiple systems. Now, are they going to be as good as, you know, the quarterbacks coming out in the early 2000s who spent all that time in the same system and learned it down to a pat? No, because they have to learn these new offenses. But I think back to like the Sam Howell year that he came out. Sam Howell was in conversations for being a first-round pick, and then when it came down to nut cutting time and Sam Howell is not a first-round pick, with NIL, guys like that, like Tyler Shuck, for example, they can transfer to a different school, or they can go back to their school, make some money, you know, set their families up for future success, and develop a little bit longer at the college level before they come out. So I would venture to say here, probably in the next 3 to 4 years, we're going to see a bigger crop of quarterbacks that maybe aren't super sexy. They're not the Caleb Williams who start as a freshman and then just, all right, now you're a junior, time to come out. You're going to be the first overall pick. We're going to see a lot more of these Tyler Shuck types where it's like, all right, these are the kind of guys we should be a little bit more interested for fantasy purposes because they feel a little bit more ready to come out and not just the one-year wonders, which kind of makes you wonder what's going on right now with Trinidad Chambliss and the performance he's having in the college football playoff. Like, if this kid goes on and has 2 more games and wins a national championship and is explosive and dynamic, is this going to be the next name that we push up and all of a sudden he's getting first-round buzz? And it's like, I don't know if this guy's ready to come out. Like,
well, I mean, it was the same thing with Cam Ward last year, right? Like, it was, you know, that's exactly Cam Ward. He was a 0-star recruit, you know, college incarnate or whatever the
incarnate word, put some fucking respect on.
Yeah, put some
on the incarnate word.
Washington
Cardinals.
State and then Miami, okay. Which as a Hurricanes fan, man, I can't help but think Cam Ward with our current iteration of the defense, like literally salivating right now. But I digress. Anyway, but I think the biggest thing with the whole NIL era, we have to stop and remember Tyler Shuck was in college for 7 years because he had the COVID years. We're not going to get the 6-7 year seniors because NIL is allowing.
You said it. I was waiting for somebody to say it. I was waiting.
We'll get the 5th year seniors. I don't think you're going to get the 6 and 7 years unless you're. Shut up, Joe. Fucking Gen Z.
Just say one of the numbers.
You know, so Carson Beck, 5 years. Like, I think that's going to be the new setup with some of these guys that are fringe starters. You'll see them playing all 5 years. You're not going to see them going 7+ years.
Oh, so they do got pending lawsuits in place. I know Chambliss is one who's suing the NCAA in order to get another year. You know, I think the basis of that lawsuit is to make JUCO years not actually count towards it, or D2 years actually count towards D1 eligibility. We'll see how that one plays out. But to your point about being a Miami fan, same kind of situation. Carson Beck was the preseason a couple of years ago, number one quarterback, you know, potential number one pick. It didn't go the way it planned at Georgia. He also had that elbow injury, but then he transfers to a place like Miami. And I think right off the rip, the Notre Dame game, you went, oh shit, you know, Carson Beck is actually pretty legit still. Like, he's good. And then he was a little bit up and down throughout the most of the season, but now we're sitting here in the playoffs and Carson Beck's
managing the offense.
He's managing the offense, and he looks healthy, and he's throwing the ball, and all that preseason number one overall pick talk that we had a couple years ago is starting to come back. Like, man, this kid actually does have talent, even though it feels so bad that the New York Giants actually have a quarterback like Jackson Dart now, a good-looking guy, because they've had so many ugly-ass quarterbacks over the years, and Carson Beck would fit that organization perfectly. I mean, he's got Eli Manning face if there ever was Eli Manning face.
I wasn't sure if we were talking ugly on field or ugly as a human.
No, just ugly human beings,
yeah,
terrible faces.
I'm glad we went to the latter. Okay.
Which really makes me wonder how he got one of the Convinder twins and he landed that in the first place.
Because he has $20 million in NIL, Mike. That's why. Anyway, that needs to fucking that's why they can't fucking develop. We say NIL, you know, guys will stay in college longer. That doesn't matter. They're not facing adversity. They're gonna go to the next team that's gonna make them the starter, pay them all this money. College coaches can't fucking develop. All they can do is recruit, except Curt Cignetti, because that guy's working fucking wonders at Indiana. That is the one caveat to the rules. Curt Cignetti and whatever the fuck he's injecting into the veins of Indiana players. But that's the issue. And again, Tom Brady talks about all the time. The greatest quarterback of all time was the QB 8 on his depth chart at Michigan his first year, and he did not start until his senior year. And then he obviously played his fifth year, but he didn't start until his senior year. But he stayed the whole time, developed, learned, faced adversity, had to go through and earn his role instead of, oh yeah, we're going to give you $8 million to come to our school and you're just going to play. And then you're going to go 7-6, get a spot in the fucking Boca Raton Bowl and lose. Like, that's also make the Pop-Tart Bowl the college football championship. I'm sorry.
That is the most
Make
fun
the
bowl
Pop-Tart Bowl the college football championship.
I love this, man. Every time I come on this show, I can't wait till Joe gets riled up.
I'm sorry.
Fucking gets me going.
I'm sorry. I love Chick-fil-A. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, the fuck out of here. I want a Pop-Tart summoned when one of the top 4 teams makes its way to the championship. Coach, fuck it. Yeah, we want that one. Boom. Slamming strawberry jumps off the back. That's the best bowl game ever created. It might be the best sporting event on planet Earth, the Pop-Tart Bowl.
And he works for the Savannah Bananas, by the way.
Yeah, Pop-Tart Bowl.
Duke's Mayo Bowl is always the king.
Duke's Mayo's fine. That's good too. The Pop-Tart Bowl is the best fucking bowl on planet Earth. It's not even a question.
We just need a dude wipe shit bowl. All right. And let's just we just take the 2 worst teams in college football and we let them face off. We take
UMass and Boston College and they play each other every year in the shithead bowl.
No, we already had that. That was called the Florida State game.
Ooh, shit. Oh, man.
I don't know if you've watched UMass and Boston College.
UMass almost beat Florida a couple years ago, so let's not.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. UMass hasn't won a Division I football game in 4 years.
Is that a long time?
Some might say.
Oh, boy.
If I was in bed, they'd say, "Are you finished yet?" Is essentially what. Anyways, I would take Rico Dowdle.
Brees Hall, Rico Dowdle, Mike Evans, Travion Henderson, or Sutton in the flex for a Week 18 final.
Dowdy.
You poor man. Week 18 finals. poor man.
Dowdle. I mean, he has something to play for. I know Mike Evans does as well, but Rico Dowdle.
Yeah,
I'm going Dowdle too.
Dowdle. I mean, unless Brees Hall wants to throw a couple passes.
Well, actually, he is playing Buffalo, and they have a shitty run defense, but still Dowdle.
Ryan brought up Davante Adams earlier. I just want to tell you my favorite stat line of the year. 1 of 8, 1 yard, 1 touchdown.
Bam.
That was week 11 against Seattle.
Menace.
For Davante Adams. Yes.
Menace.
Absolute. Give you one of mine real quick. Emeka Egbuka. First of all, congratulations to him. Him and his fiance Lainey got engaged yesterday, so he does get a ring finally. So good for that.
Still in contention.
Well, I don't know if you know how this works. I don't think the man gets a ring when they get engaged.
He gets it eventually,
Mike. He gets it eventually, Mike.
Oh,
eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's usually
it's
it's usually like plain Jane, nothing fancy usually.
Otherwise, I was gonna go hit my wife up. And I was like, "Hey, where the fuck's mine?
Yeah, where's my fucking ring?" That's right. That's right.
Diamond.
One.
Before week 5 was fucking absolutely killing it. But then I gotta ask you guys this: do you remember Christian Okoye?
No. Yes.
You remember his
Nigerian
nickname?
Nightmare. Nigerian Nightmare.
Very nice.
There's a
So
30 for 30
I've
on
come
him.
up with Egbuka is Nigerian. I am now changing his name. His nickname is going to be the Nigerian Ghost, because that's exactly what the fuck he did to us after week 5.
Well, let's maybe let me sprinkle in a little bit of Baker Mayfield playing like shit in there too.
Okay, you can sprinkle that in all you want, Joe, but I will tell you this: it sucked watching him catch 1 out of 12 fucking targets, dropping a game-winning touchdown. So yes, maybe Baker as a whole later on was there, but in week 6, week 7, week 8, Egbuka just absolutely disappeared. And before you say it, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, neither one of them were playing at that time.
Yep. He was one of the most fascinating cases of fall off that you're going to have. Now, he did have an injury in there too, so you can blame some of that. But like Joe said, a lot of it came down to that offense and just Baker Mayfield shit in the bed, right? Like
his injury did not help at all. Those brick hands sucked.
Those brick
for those 3 weeks.
Those brick hands did suck. But yeah, a lot of what he was doing earlier in the season too. You didn't have a healthy Chris Godwin. You didn't have Jalen McMillan, which some people are in love with the guy, and I didn't think he was going to be shit. But apparently, with him back, Emeka Egbuka falls even farther down the depth chart. Who knew that was going to happen? But I think it's a bigger case of what we're probably going to see today is the ultimate collapse of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is just going to break my heart. The fact that they're going to go in the shitter. Todd Bowles needs to go. He's woefully underachieved.
No,
with his team.
Really?
Yeah.
No. You're telling me the only ring he won was with the greatest quarterback of all time?
Who knew?
No, Mike, he's great. Same with Raheem Morris.
He has completely lost this team, lost this locker room. But some of it too, I mean, we should have seen this coming. How many offense coordinators are they going to cycle through who go on to head coaching jobs before they finally find one that isn't worthy of a head coaching job? Who is it? Josh Grizzard now?
Grizzard.
Well, Mike, it gets even worse for Todd Bowles, because if you remember back when he was with the Jets, ever since he was with the Jets, every single year in the middle of the season, he's lost a minimum of 4 straight games.
Good Lord.
Like, that's who Todd Bowles is.
100%.
And an onomatopoeia.
I just want to know at what point do we stop trying to hire retread coaches that once coached for the New York Jets and actually think that they're the answer to the problem?
Okay. I was going to say, ask me when Josh McDaniels gets his 3rd head coaching job, but he never coached for the Jets. So
yeah,
that's fair.
Like former Jets coach, no.
You did have to throw the retread thing in there. Just stop hiring retreads in general.
Well, that's the other side of it,
right?
Yeah.
Just,
oh my God, Raheem Morris. No way. He's not good. Wow. Who could have called that?
Somebody's going to give Vance Joseph a bag this offseason, right? To be their head coach.
Yeah,
Vance Joseph having the time of his life. Anybody?
No.
Oh my God. Sergio Dip, Monday Night Football?
No.
Oh. No. Look up. Listen. It's everybody. If you do not know what this is, go look up Sergio Dip Monday Night Football. He was the sideline reporter. It was when they had the back-to-back Monday Night Football games in week 1. Vance Joseph's, I believe he was the head coach for the Broncos, correct?
He was the head coach of Miami, wasn't he?
He was the head coach of the Denver Broncos for almost a season.
Okay, so it was that Broncos season. Week 1, boom, they're there. It is, I think it's Bev Mullins, I believe is her name. I could be wrong on that. And Rex Ryan was doing color in the booth.
Oh, what a
and
cast!
No, again, so it's the B cast, it's the B lineup for ESPN. And that was back on Monday Night Football. Barely had an A lineup in their booth. Sergio Dip. This guy is an ESPN Deportes soccer host, not even a reporter.
Yeah, I remember that now. Okay.
Yeah. Sergio, they cut to Sergio Dip. He can't English isn't his first language. He can't speak a complete full sentence of English. And all he says is Sergio Dip having the time of his life. They never cut to him again the rest of the game. They never went down to the sideline.
Terrible.
It was so bad.
He was waiting on his moment. That's what he
Go
wanted.
look it up. Have the funniest laugh to start 2026. Sergio Dip is the greatest sideline reporter to ever live.
Oh,
Josh, we've made it to an hour 15. You have barely said 5 words this whole show. Because I think you've been holding on to some grievances.
You don't want him to talk.
He's got to let his grievance out there.
I just want to say there's a reason that I put Brian Thomas Jr. on the thumbnail of this episode. Because you want to talk about a massive letdown in year 2. We all hyped this guy up as the Mike Evans role in this Jacksonville.
Hey, where'd you put him preseason? Just wondering.
At one point, he was my wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
At one point. Yeah, he was my wide receiver 2.
Where was JSN? Just also wondering that question.
Very, very much lower.
Yeah.
And I've been very adamant that I completely whiffed on JSN this season. And it's okay. It's okay.
Is it? You seem sad about it.
We all have hits and misses, dude. Don't sit here and pretend like you're batting 1,000, Joe.
Brian
Burns. Full of
Burns.
shit.
Next question.
Again, that one take. Okay, cool.
I don't write anything down. Go find my other ones. Next question.
Trust me, they will be exposed. Look, only 3 touchdowns on this season and less than 700 receiving yards, which again, very anti Mike Evans at that point. He had only 1 game this season with over 20 fantasy points.
Dog.
That is not a wide receiver 1 in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what this offense is going to look like after Travis Hunter comes back, after re-signing Jacoby Myers. They've kind of said that they're not looking to trade Brian Thomas Jr., but I don't know that he really fits in this offense. So
I would like to defend Brian Thomas Jr. as a Mike Evans comp. Mike Evans also only had 1 game over 20 fantasy points this year.
But he missed 8 games.
And Mike Evans also has 3 touchdowns this year. I would like to defend Brian Thomas Jr. as a Mike Evans comp.
Just want to clarify, Brian Thomas Jr. only had 2 touchdowns this year.
No, he had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, ding dong, you fucking idiot.
I think it was like a 7-yard rushing touchdown.
You don't remember his rushing touchdown, Gator?
No.
God, this guy.
Here's the wildest thing. Was there a 2024 wide receiver from that class that had a good year this year?
No, who had the best year?
Oh my God. No, I actually saw that post. There was there's only 1 skill position player from 2024 that had over 800 yards this season, and it was Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, but that was the stat. That was
former
the stat.
Iowa Hawkeye legend.
I was like, what? Yeah, that was an unbelievable stat.
That was the stat.
Crazy.
He was too good for Iowa, so he had to transfer to Purdue.
Absolute menace. Okay, yeah. I mean, here's your receivers in that class. Neighbors injured. Adunze. Oh, what the fuck happened after week 4 or whatever? BTJ, Xavier Worthy, Ricky
and you're
Pearsall.
Forgetting Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he was Highland. Marvin Harrison Jr. Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Legette, Keon Coleman, Ladd McConkey, Jalen Polk, Adonai Mitchell, Malachi Corley, Jermaine Burton, Roman Wilson, Jalen McMillan, Luke McCaffrey. That's the top 3 rounds. Then there's pretty much nobody after that.
Except Tyrone Tracy.
Yes, I was just looking at the receivers. And then if we go to the running backs, Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd, Jalen Wright, Bucky Irving, Will Shipley, Ray Davis, Isaac Garendo, Braylon Allen, Audric Estime, Rasheen Ali, and then we get to Tyrone Tracy in the 5th round.
Legend.
Do
Legend
we remember
Tyrone
how Malachi Corley was supposed to be so good living with Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know where that ever came from. Aaron Rodgers hates rookies, so
Every damn wide receiver from the 24 class had a terrible year. Absolutely terrible, right? Malik Neighbors will write that one off as injury, right?
Ryan Flournoy.
Oh, yeah. Well, my bad. Forgot about that stuff.
This guy. Well, negative ball knowledge out of Mike over here.
Negative ball knowledge.
You want to talk to me about Devon Vele, Mike?
Oh.
Come on. Jeez.
Devon Vele is one of my favorite ones too, because probably like week 7, week 8, a major dynasty platform telling people to go out and pay a 2nd-round pick for all your Devon Vele. Right, he's going to be an absolute stud.
How about Devontae Walker and Bub Means? All right,
let's go, Bub Means.
Yes.
Get some ball knowledge, Mike. Damn, these guys were studs this year.
Absolute legends.
Right up there with 6th-round pick Jawar Jordan.
So we'll get a lot of questions probably in the offseason about, well, what do you do with, like a Brian Thomas Jr.? What do you do with a Marvin Harrison? And it's like, the same thing you're going to do with the rest of the class, right? Everybody's going to fall. You're going to end up holding every single one of them. The Brian Thomas Jr. one, though.
That with 2023, where, they've got 5 of the top 8 guys in total yards.
Yeah.
It's like, look, things will eventually course correct. Yes, it was a down year for that class. That doesn't mean there weren't good players in that class, but situations got to change. Health has to change. All these types of things. Like, you look at a lot of those guys, like Marvin Harrison's probably going to be in a different offense next year. Malik Neighbors coming back healthy. He's going to be in a different offense next year. Brian Thomas Jr., maybe they do trade him and he's in a different offense next year. So there's so many different factors that are going to come into play that, maybe Keenan Allen retires and Ladd McConkey has a big bounce back, right? Like there's so many different, variables that might be on the horizon, but just aren't there right now.
So I like to do this exercise, especially at the end of the year when I have wrong takes. And, like you brought up, Josh, nobody bats 1,000 and I have big, wild fucking misses. But when I look at guys like Brian Thomas Jr., who I faded, or Ladd McConkey, who I faded, versus Marv, who I didn't fade, or Rome Odunze, who I didn't fade, who also ended up the same way, I like to figure out where I went wrong. So when I look at BTJ, the reason I faded him down dynasty ranks, as much as I did, and I didn't have him up at 2, or I didn't have him, in the top 5 like he was pushing for a lot of people, was the splits last year with Trevor Lawrence versus with Mac Jones, and the splits he had versus when Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram were healthy and in the lineup versus what he did at the end of the season when those guys were gone catching balls from Mac Jones. And I went, that is a little bit worrying. I think I'm going to fade him for this. And then the Ladd McConkey thing is, it's fucking Greg Roman and it's Jim Harbaugh. These guys have never called a competent pass game in their entire fucking life. And they just drafted a running back with their 1st-round pick. It's signal to me they want to run the football. Now, didn't necessarily work out that way as far as being able to run the football because they lost every offensive lineman known to man on that fucking team.
And Hampton missed a good chunk of the season too.
But the ones that I want to do, and I want, how the fuck did I miss this? Marv. Why did Marv struggle so badly this year? What the fuck happened to Marv? What happened to Rome Odunze? Especially like Jay said, after week 4, it's oh my God. What? Up till that point, we're yeah, fuck, what a great take. Rome Odunze to the moon. And then no Rome Odunze.
Yeah.
So at the end of the season, this is kind of where I like to sit down and figure out where the fuck I went wrong. So hopefully next year I don't do the same thing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. I mean, I thought that Harrison would have a bounce back because, again, the way that Drew Petzing offense, it's a derivative of Stefanski. They feature that wide receiver 1 and the tight end 1. Those are the 2 key cogs, but there was no rhyme or rhythm to any of the routes and the usage of Marvin Harrison within that offense. It's they drafted a guy based on talent, but then said, well, we need you to fit into this system. And it's well, dude, that's not the game that I play. Instead of saying, you know what, we drafted a really talented guy, we need to figure out how we can craft the routes and everything else for him to be successful within the system. And that's why, and I say this all the time, coaches they have the biggest egos on the entire planet. They will not change their system. You can be down 30 fucking points and Kyle Shanahan is going to run the same fucking system, because he will not make adjustments. And he's going to lose by 25 because that's what he does. But when it's on and it works, right? But the moment that the defense gets the leg up, well, we'll chalk this one up. It's a loss, and that's that. And they move on.
They did an absolutely fantastic job of featuring their wide receiver one down the stretch. It was
Michael,
just Michael Wilson.
Mr. Sophia Smith.
And that's the thing is, like, I don't understand how Brissett has so much chemistry with Michael Wilson. Let's face it, a less talented player than Michael and Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's the
Two
system.
backups.
So I kind of want to wrap it up. After we answer this, I have a fun thing about 2024 draft class and how bad teams stay bad, and it does revolve around the Cardinals. But let's answer the question first.
Yep. Woods Girl getting in before 4 a.m. this morning, Mike, to put her first comment in.
Yeah.
Yes. Full PPR, sit 2. Diggs, Evans, Luther Burden, Kyren Williams, Ray Davis. Start with you, Mike.
Why is Ray Davis on here?
Well, because she's sitting 2.
Backups.
That makes the easy. That makes the easy sit, so you only got to sit one.
Buffalo didn't really have anything to play for.
Neither does Ray Davis.
Well, that's the thing is Cook's going to sit, and it's the Jets.
It's still Ray Davis. Like, did he get more talented
No.
at some point? No. Okay. I'm gonna sit Ray Davis for sure. Let me sit Stephon Diggs as the other one.
Well, you're sitting Kyren because he's not playing, I don't think, is he?
No, McVay's already come out and said that he's
Everybody's
playing
playing
starters. Yeah. But even then, like, he's splitting 50-50 with Blake Corum anyway.
I'm gonna sit Diggs and Kieran.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Diggs has enough to play the whole game.
I know there's some incentives there, but I mean, I feel
it's
like
so little. It's like 38 yards. He doesn't need
Yeah.
to do a lot. So
yeah, I think I'm okay sitting Diggs and Ray Davis. That's where I would go.
that's fine. I can sit Ray Davis. I think he gets a lot of run against the Jets. So that's why I wouldn't sit him.
Josh, who's your next one?
Ooh,
Oh,
nice
for
choice.
me, it's Let me see. Let me go back. Sorry.
You said Diggs and Ray Davis.
Yeah, I know. Somebody popped up Joel's question and
Yeah,
it
I
kinda,
did by
threw
accident.
me off. Yeah.
Oh.
We need to stop with the Jalen Hurts slander. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm getting really sick and tired of it, not just as an Eagles fan, but when you look at what he consistently does week in and week out, despite all of the dysfunction that's currently going on in the Eagles locker room, the Eagles offense, etc. Like, I get it. Kevin Patullo sucks as an offensive coordinator. The offensive line is absolutely regressed. Dickerson, Jurgens, none of those guys look like Pro Bowl calibers players or top players at their respective positions. And even Mailata's taken a big step back this season. And yet Jalen Hurts still most passing touchdowns he's ever had in a season this season. So, like, he consistently wins. Just like he wins a Super Bowl, wins Super Bowl MVP, and people are still trying to find ways to pick apart his game. Like, what are we doing? Like, all we want is good quarterback play. He consistently goes out, plays well, and they find reasons to hate him. Josh Allen has 3 turnovers in a game, and he's still the golden boy. Jalen Hurts has 4 turnovers in a game, and it's like, well, this guy fucking sucks, and he needs to be benched for Tanner McKee.
He has multiple. I'm saying he should be benched. He has multiple halves with 0 passing yards, and the team
again.
won.
But is that on him or is it on the offensive system and how they only want to run the football when they're up ahead?
I agree with that. But and again, yes, he only had 7 pass attempts, and yes, you should run the football when you're up that much, but you can't complete one of them. Like that's the thing that people see is you can't complete one.
Again, but you're taking one isolated instance. And again, I get it, Joe. It's happened twice this year. Okay, cool.
Incidents.
How many times has Josh Allen had multiple turnovers in a game that have cost the Bills the game?
Oh, I agree. I think Josh Allen is a little overrated.
Okay.
I agree. I'm on that train.
But again, like, and that's not just Josh Allen. I'm not saying this to just kind of pick on Josh Allen, but like when you look at those two players, they have very similar games. They're quarterbacks that will win you the game with their arms. And we've seen Jalen Hurts do this. He doesn't do it often, but he can win the game with his arm. He literally did it against Buffalo 2 years ago. He did it against Kansas City in the Super Bowl. He will win you games with his arm. Yet people consistently say he cannot throw the deep ball. He can't pass the football. He is a good thrower of the football. And he's equally as good as a runner because he picks his spots and he does the things that need to be done. This team wins, not because of any other factor than Jalen Hurts. Right now, the defense is carrying them. That defense is 100% elite. They have not allowed more than 15 points to an opponent in 2 months, which allows Jalen Hurts to pick his spots and win games. Stop hating on Jalen Hurts. The guy is good at football.
I don't. I also echo a lot of your sentiments, and a lot of it's me being an Eagles fan. And this is coming from a guy, anybody who knows my history, I was probably the biggest Jalen Hurts detractor early on in his career. Go Carson Wentz, team Carson Wentz for life. That it never worked out for me at all. But Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, and I think a lot of people are pointing to the whole Cam Newton beef that they had in the offseason and people going back and forth about this stuff. And, Cam likes to wear his fancy hats, and once upon a time, Cam Newton did carry the Carolina Panthers franchise, and then he also promptly quit on them in the biggest game and didn't actually perform. So I understand where the animosity comes from, because Jalen Hurts gets on the biggest stage in the Super Bowl and should have 2 Super Bowl titles to his name and 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and has thoroughly outplayed the greatest quarterback of our generation so far as Chris Collinsworth is concerned, and Patrick Mahomes in both of those fucking games.
Here's a guy.
Now here's a guy who isn't Patrick Mahomes, but plays a lot, whatever the fuck he goes on about. But Jalen Hurts is very good at playing quarterback, and Jalen Hurts can carry a team. Now, when we look at it this year, I hate to put all the blame on it, but Kevin Patullo is fucking dog shit, and he's terrible.
Awful.
Everything about this Eagles offense is worse than it was last year under Kellen Moore. And the things that really fucking matter, especially with the way defenses are playing nowadays, pre-snap motion rate in the fucking toilet, RPO usage for a highly mobile quarterback who loves to run RPO and is very fucking efficient at it, in the fucking toilet. Offensive line play, like you said, regressed. Everyone's focused on what happened last year with Saquon Barkley, damn near fucking breaking the rushing record. Defense is key on him. Not good offensive line play. The offense is dog shit, but Jalen Hurts still has this team in position to make a playoff run. Now, a lot of it has to be because of the defense, like Josh said, is playing absolutely fucking elite, but he's doing what's needed to be done in order to win football games. And I hate the fucking double standard. I really hate the double standard sometimes, because all the people who go out and were glazing the fuck out of Brock Purdy when Brock Purdy was getting carried by a defense and an offensive scheme that just this, as long as you don't fuck up too bad, that's all you got to do. We're going to win games. People will go out and glaze him for it. But Jalen Hurts does it, and all of a sudden he's a trash-ass quarterback. But when I say Brock Purdy's a trash-ass quarterback, everyone comes with me with knives. Like, I'm going to cut you. How dare you insult the Cyclone legend of Brock Purdy?
It's terrible.
That's because they take offense to you being, the Hawkeye and not, bowing down to the state.
Yeah, I don't bow down to that fucking franchise at all. That bunch of sister fuckers down there.
Josh, I know.
Same state. Literally the same state. Continue.
It's literally the same state, but it couldn't be farther from the fucking truth, man. If you've ever been to central Iowa, you would go, what the fuck happened here?
Why would I ever find myself there?
This is
Joe,
like
you
West
said the
Virginia.
same thing about North Dakota when you were working with Bismarck Larks.
Yeah, but like I had a job there. I would never. I didn't willingly go to the state.
Central Iowa is like West Virginia without the mountains and the banjos.
And
okay, good comparison.
You know what I'm saying? Like Deliverance could have happened there for sure.
Josh, you brought up the Jalen Hurts' highest touchdown passes through his career this year, and I know this is going to lead into your next point, but he also had his lowest attempts rushing, lowest yards rushing, and lowest TDs.
Oh, I thought you had a continuation there.
Yeah,
TD shrunk. No.
I'm just wondering if we should stop with these fucking rushing quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, I mean, we could probably skip this because Ryan kind of hit on it, and so did Mike about, just the quarterback play in general. But, like, I think that we as fantasy managers, we just kind of need to stop falling in love with rushing quarterbacks in the sense of, like, I get it. It's a bit of an advantage when you have these like 700, 800, 900 yard rushing seasons. We didn't have that this year. There's literally only one quarterback that had over 500 rushing yards. One. And it's Josh Allen. Shocking. But we propped up, and I say we, not we as in Club Fantasy, but we as a fantasy, analyst industry, propped up Justin Fields because of what his rushing upside is, and completely forgetting that he's always been a bad thrower of the football. You still need to throw the football to win not only football games, but produce in fantasy football. Brock Purdy is the QB2 in fantasy points per game. He doesn't really run the football. Matt Stafford is the QB5. Sure, it helps when you have Puka Nacua and Davante Adams, but guess what? -2 rushing yards on the season.
Dog.
Dak Prescott, we all know NFL's leading passer, QB7. Jared Goff, who we all make fun of week in and week out, season after season, QB12. None of these guys have over 200 yards rushing. You still have to throw the football.
I know you're leaving out Drake May because he has like 400 rushing yards, but
yeah, and that's kind of the whole point. Like, sure, I mean, Patrick Mahomes at one point was the leading rusher in the NFL. He had a good season from a fantasy perspective. Justin Herbert has run the football more often. But these guys are still winning and helping you win in fantasy, not because of rushing, but because of what they're doing throwing the football.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it boils down to. You still have to pass the football to win NFL games and succeed in fantasy football. Because I feel like that the days of like, the Anthony Richardsons of 2,000 passing yards and, 800 rushing yards are going to carry you in fantasy football. That's just not the way the game is played anymore. NFL teams have to throw the football. Plain and simple.
Arguably, too, this is the worst rushing year we've seen from quarterbacks across.
And again, I know a lot of that is injury related. Yeah. Sure. Like if Jackson Dart doesn't miss games with concussions, he's probably over 700 rushing yards.
Jaden Daniels, last year being QB3, missing most of the season, being down. Lamar Jackson in the MVP conversation pulls his hamstring early in the season, rushing totals in the tank. So a lot of.
But even then, he's at 16.2 fantasy points per game.
But arguably 20. Too, when I started off by saying my biggest grievance was quarterback play, it is tied to rushing, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day, for me, rushing is still going to be king for the quarterback position because you see when the rushing is not there, quarterback play across the board. Not a lot of quarterbacks were helping you win fantasy leagues this year.
Yeah,
not a lot of them across the board. You got Josh Allen, who's well over 500 yards, going to lead you at QB1. Drake May having a pretty good season, right up there. But still, when you look at things like WARP, in Superflex leagues, Drake May's QB2, but just outside the top 10 in total WARP, right? Like, not a lot of years in Superflex leagues have I ever seen a WARP graph when I look at it and I go, we only got one quarterback in the top 10? Are you fucking kidding me? One quarterback? A lot of years, if you go back and you look at like 22, you go back and you look at 23, just in your average league, you're going to have 4. You're going to have 5. Sometimes you're going to have 6 quarterbacks who are in the top 10 of a WARP graph. We're struggling to get fucking one fucking quarterback in the top 10. Maybe that coincides with, yes, you do need to throw the football in order to win games, and you do need to throw the football in order to keep a job and put up fantasy points, but you also need to be able to run the football to actually fucking matter. Because a lot of these quarterback graphs in Superflex leagues, looking across the board, aren't that much better than tight ends, which is a position outside of fucking Trey McBride nobody gives a flying fuck about. And that is a scary place to be. So, listen, I want to sit here and defend the quarterbacks all I can. It is by far and away the worst fantasy year I've ever had because I'm so quarterback focused. But also quarterbacks have historically underperformed. And if this swings at all, if we get wild takes in the offseason about don't worry about rushing quarterbacks, go after all the Matt Staffords of the world, and we get any kind of regression back to the mean, what we've seen for the last 5 to 10 years, I'll be counting all kinds of fucking money. Next year when I come on this show, my grievance is going to be, I got to pay all these taxes on all these fucking winnings. I don't know what to son of a bitch, all right? Like, I need to tax shelter this, all right? We need to do more charity donations or something.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I know there's always going to be regression of the mean. Like, rushing quarterbacks, again, they matter, and I'm not saying they don't. Like, we've always said that, if you're going to take a dart throw on somebody like, heading into the season, like a Drake May, for instance, right? Like, because we knew the upside that came with his rushing potential. Like, pair him with somebody like a late round Matt Stafford, because in the event that Drake May bombs and we don't get that, elite level rushing upside and he doesn't reach the heights of what he actually did in passing, you still have a competent quarterback to fall back on that can keep you afloat, even if he's only a low end QB1, right? Granted, Stafford and May both smashed, so maybe that's a bad example. But like, that's kind of the point that I'm getting at is like, if you're going to take that, take that leap and pair that, oh, this guy has elite rushing upside, but maybe his passing floor is kind of minimal, then you pair him with somebody that is a legitimate NFL quarterback that can get you low-end QB1 numbers. That's the route that you take, and that's fine. And that's mostly what I'm getting at here is that if all we're doing is propping a guy up simply because of his rushing upside, that's where you're going to fail in fantasy football.
On that note, let's get Mike out of here. We greatly appreciate you coming over here from South Harmon, hanging out with us today. Let the good people know where they can find you and what you got going on this offseason with all of your Dynasty content.
Well, a lot of hiding. I'm going to do a lot of hiding. It was a terrible year for most of my teams. So we're going to get back in the lab. Actually, this is by far and away my favorite time of the year. I know a lot of you redrafters, you guys all enjoyed the season, and now you think it's all fucking over and blah, blah. For us Dynasty folks, this is my favorite time of the year. I'm going to get in the fucking lab with the boys. Patreon.com/South Harmon if you want to check this stuff out. So I think we usually do it on Thursdays, but every Thursday night here, moving forward right up to the draft time, it's film session time, man. We're going to dive into the tape. I also am very analytically driven too, so we'll pull up the analytics on them, but we're going to dive into these prospects and figure out what the fuck to do in the 26 class, because 25 was kind of, that was a rough ride, a rough rookie class to try to diagnose, but 26, listen, there's some exciting prospects out there. We get a Jeremiah Love. Maybe he'll save our fantasy teams. He'll be everything we thought Ashton Genty was going to be for our fucking fantasy teams that didn't turn out that way. But that's where you can find me, patreon.com/South Harmon. And, of course, we got the YouTube stuff. Just look up anything South Harmon. 3 channels led by a lot of good guys. Adam and me on the Dynasty channel. Fizz and T-Rock taking up the Vibes channel. I'll also make an appearance on there. And Eric and Matty Kiwoom taking on the Redraft channel. So we'll see what they do in the offseason. Listen, their season's basically over, but I'm sure there's some underdog shit or whatever you weird people like to do, for cash games. But it's rookie season, man. This is all I get to talk about for the next 4 months is just rookies, and hammering the shit out of them.
Good times, man.
Love it.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Appreciate you, fellas. Always a good time popping on. Listen, have me back sooner, man. We went almost, 7-8 months before I was back on this fucking show. And I tell you what, I get off every single time. I love talking to you, Josh. I love talking to you, Jay. But I love getting Joe fired up. I love watching this fucking guy.
The most entertaining guy in sports. Don't worry.
Joe gets me fired up where I want to meet him in person and just fucking wrestle him. All right, now it's probably not as good as it used to be when I was 340. All right, but I still got that country strength, and it's not that Central Iowa country strength.
I'm 175 from the city. You're good. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're in, buddy. Let's go, man. I'm 215, rocked up. Let's rock.
Yeah.
I love you, fellas.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Appreciate you, man.
Let's wrap up. Let's wrap this thing up real quick. We got 2 games today. We got the Panthers at the Bucks, which we've talked a little bit about. Bucks are getting 2.5 over under of 43.5.
It's only because they're home.
49. I know. Seahawks and 49ers. Seahawks are given 2.5, and 47.5 is the over under there. I got a few lines I like in both of these games. Not so much in the Bucks game, but I do have a couple lines in there. There's a bunch of lines in that 49ers Seahawks game for tonight that I really, really like. I'll give you one from each line, and then the rest of them you can go over to the Discord and see. Jalen McMillan higher than 31.5 receiving. I brought this up Monday when we were talking about him. Eased into the fold over week 15 and 16. 53 total yards between the 2 weeks, but then the last week with Godwin getting 8 targets. Evans got 6 targets. Egbuka got 5 more targets. This man demanded the ball. 9 targets, 114 yards. 31.5 just seems super easy to smash, especially seeing as I see this game, the Bucs playing from behind. They're going to be putting the ball in the air a shit ton. You might see Baker Mayfield throw 7 more interceptions today. Going over to the Seahawks and 49ers, A.J. Barner, higher than 4.5 targets. He's gotten 5. He's cleared 5 in 3 of the last 5 games. And with Shaheed dealing with a concussion, he should look to see an uptick in usage as well. Josh, anything?
No, like both those lines, the way that they've been using Jalen McMillan, it's kind of been at the expense of Emeka Egbuka. So, yeah, makes sense.
Joe, what's your thoughts on today's games? Anything besides, are you just going to, sleep until tomorrow and watch the Patriots game?
Panthers, Niners, under over.
Okay. I like it.
There you go.
Like under 43.5 for the Panthers and Bucks, over 47.5 for Seahawks Niners.
Team over for the Panthers, under for the game.
Okay. All right. I like it. Let's get the hell out of here then. Thanks everybody hanging out all season on Start Sit Different Day. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. DFS content will be dominating much of January, and after the Super Bowl, we're diving into mocks starting Monday, I believe. Are we doing a dynasty startup, or are we just doing?
No, Monday is our way too early 2026 mock draft. I assume you guys probably want to take a little bit of time in January to yourselves before we dive into rookie mocks and dynasty startups and all that good stuff starting in February and March. So
100%. If you want to get into the mock on Monday, you have to be in the Discord. That's where it will be dropped. Again, if you're over on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever podcast platform you're on, hit that subscribe button or follow button over there. You'll never miss anything that we drop. I think that's pretty much it. I think we're out of here.
Let's do it.
I guess until Monday. Go Bucks.
There you go.